Hello, hello, hello. How are we all doing today? Welcome to the Montessori Mondays with Holly live show. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. We're going to be talking about shifting into a Montessori mindset. If you guys are here with me live, please say hi in the comments below. Let me know you're here. Or if you're watching on the replay, give me a hashtag replay. Let me know you're on the replay. We have some kind of deep stuff to talk about today. Now, I know I kind of put this on thistoddlerlife.com already. So if you've seen that blog post, we're going to be talking about shifting your mindset, right? Shifting into this Montessori mindset. And I'm really excited to talk about it with you guys because just simply looking at things a little bit differently is going to change your whole parenting world, right? Okay, hi Shar, how are you? Thanks for joining live. So basically, I have a couple things I want to talk about, right? And it's a lot, so I've split it up into two parts. So this week we're going to be focusing on what your visions are for your child, right? And we're going to be focusing on how you can change the way we think. So we'll have two main ways to get the ball rolling, and I know you're going to have some huge takeaways for this live show. So I don't want there to be any details left out. So that's why we're going to do two parts. And then next week, we will talk about what it means to fully love your child unconditionally. Unconditionally being the main word there. And today, we're going to focus on the way you think about your unique child. And the unique part of that is the most important. So let's first acknowledge that Montessori is not the easy way to parent, right? Montessori is not the easy way to parent our children. We as parents are making a conscious decision to do better for our children. And do better than what we had as children, and do better for the world we're going to live or leave them, right? So there's lots of different elements to thinking about changing the way you parent, and Montessori is such a great way to get into different parenting philosophies, because in the end, Montessori is an education form, not a way of parenting. But the mindsets of Montessori really start to work ingrained into you and actually spread out into other relationships, like with your partner or your friends or your colleagues. And we're going to talk about some of those today. So let me know in the comments if you guys, I think I asked in the Facebook group earlier, what parenting philosophies you guys are kind of following right now. Are you following positive parenting, respectful parenting? There's so many out there. Conscious parenting. What else is there? Gentle parenting. Let me know if any of those are something that you guys follow. We'll talk a little bit about those later. But Montessori specifically takes some work on our part. And I want to applaud every single one of you that are here today and in this group, because you're choosing to make a positive change in your parenting to bring Montessori into your home, and your child will be better off for it, right? And so will the entire world, because we're raising these independent, confident children to go on and do, amazing things in their life. So who wants to know about these mindset shifts that I'm talking about today? Let me know in the comments if you guys are ready. So the first kind of mindset shift is going from thinking that, all children are the same to that every child is unique. And for me, this was a huge part of getting started with Montessori. I really love the philosophy of looking at each child as a unique individual, because we all are, we're all different. And I think one place that parents struggle with this particular idea is with siblings, right? So you have your first child, and then your second child comes along. Maybe you have a second child, maybe not. But if you do, you end up comparing them a lot, right? And probably on down the line, as far as, oh, well, she was a good sleeper. How is he not a good sleeper? Or so on and so forth. But remembering that each child is a unique individual is going to excel your parenting by so much, right? Because if you have been practicing Montessori for a while, then you have likely heard this term, used before for a good reason, because it's the very core of the Montessori education system. So it can be very hard for us parents to kind of step away from judgment when it comes to comparing our children to others. And that's really not fair to anyone, right? It's not fair to your child, the siblings, or even the other children. And I see all the time posts specifically in this group, we're saying, oh, our 15-month-old is doing this. And then someone will comment and say, oh, well, my child's not even doing this, and so you're comparing all the time. And it's okay to look out of this, or look at this with a sense of curiosity, like, what can I show my 15-month-old the other 15-month-olds are doing? But if you're looking at it from a place of, why isn't my child doing this when all these other children are doing this, then that's when you kind of get into that slippery slope of judgment. So each child is really on their own unique path, comparable to no one else's, right? And what this means is that we cannot form or mold our children. So would you say this is something that you've been doing? Let me know in the comments. Have you been trying to form or mold your child? Now we're in the past. And you might be thinking, no, I would never do that, right? Because, why would I ever do that? I believe in Montessori, I'm following my child's lead. But let's just dig a little bit deeper. So what does this mean? We cannot form or mold our child. I'm going to talk a little bit about this, and we're going to go a little bit deep. I'm going to look here. Somebody's saying, OMG, it's so much work, but I do love it. You are so right. Montessori is so much work, but it's so easy to see the benefits when specifically, let's say your prepared environment, once you get that set up, it's like, holy smokes, what have I been doing this whole time? Why didn't I start sooner? Everyone always says that, right? Yes. Hi, Lucinda. Okay, so let's start getting a little bit deeper. So let's think about the things you envision for your child's future, right? Do you dream of your child becoming a professional athlete, or maybe becoming a successful lawyer? Maybe you have dreams that they get good grades in high school and don't hang out with the bad crowd, right? Let me know in the comments, what are your visions for your child? Now this is, a little bit forward thinking. So when you had your child, what do you imagine them doing in their future? Just let me know in the comments. Exactly. I wish I began sooner. Yep, I know. Me too. I started when my first was 8 months old. So, it's pretty close to as soon as I could, but okay, I'm going to wait and see if anyone's going to share their visions with us, because it's no right or wrong answer, right? I remember when I was not younger. Well, I was younger, but when my child was younger, I always was envisioning her to be this really, not so girly girl, right? And not for any reason. Like, I don't mind that thing. I think I was only doing it for my own. And I'm going to tell you a little story here in a minute. Let's see. Hello. Let's see. I think I just kind of envision her being kind and smart. That's wonderful. And a lot of the times, people, me, myself, I envision just a happy, healthy child, right? Those are what you want. Everybody wants a happy, healthy child, right? And somebody's saying, I think I kind of envision her being kind and smart, right? So smart. And I want her to be determined and dedicated. I don't know. I have specifics, LOL. Yeah, no, that's okay, because these are all qualities, good qualities to have, right? So whatever these visions are, whatever they are, yours, mine, doesn't matter what they are. They all have one thing in common, right? They're your visions, right? They're your visions. The only thing that these have in common is that they are your visions and not your child's, right? We're saying, I envision a fearless and adventurous Miguel. Yes, fearless and adventurous. So one thing I can think of with my own experience, I was just going to tell you this, as a mom, is when I had a daughter, my first daughter, I made it my mission to not make an impression on her, or as little as possible, as far as gender stereotypes go. I really disliked that girl toys were pink and boy toys were blue. I purposely bought, non-pink clothing all the time. And if I am being honest, I still kind of lean that way. But once my child got to the age of about 2 or 3, she started leaning toward being this very girly girl, right? She always wanted to have her hair. She wants to have her hair done even now. wear jewelry and all of this. And I resisted with all my might. I bought her dinosaurs and blue shirts, not pink. And even I got her a tool set, all of these things. But no matter what I did, and no matter what I got her, she was not interested, right? It was then that I had to step back and realize I was not following my unique child. I was pushing my agenda on her. I wanted her to be free from these gender stereotypes, but she had so clearly chosen what she was interested in, and I just wasn't listening. So now I've kind of fully embraced this girly girl side of my daughter. I let her paint her nails, wear jewelry, dresses. She loves it. And it's exactly what she wants. It suits her. It suits her personality and her interests. How dare I take that away from her? So it's so, so important to remember that what we want for our children and what they want for themselves are probably going to be two different things. So let's take the vision of having a smart child. So this kind of goes into that good grades. You want your child to have good grades and things like that. But it might not pan out that way. So you have to be open to the idea that these visions of yours, of whatever it might be, adventurous, smart, happy, loved, it might not pan out, right? So I know what you're thinking, right? So I want you to know this. You are consciously thinking about it, right? So now we've got you thinking about these visions that you have that are yours and not your child's. And now it's your job to stop forming and molding your child and start following their lead, right? So how do we do that? Let's break it down. So if your vision is for your child to become, say, a successful lawyer, you may subconsciously be pushing them to succeed in other areas of life. Later on, when your child is in school, this might come down to grades, right? Or a certain GPA or a certain college acceptance letter. But for this young age in a toddler, it will look differently, right? So perhaps it's in the way that you reward your child for successes, like finishing a puzzle. Let's say perhaps your child does not show an interest in puzzles, but you feel that smart kids do puzzles. So you really want your child to start doing puzzles. So you start to praise her anytime she looks at this puzzle in hopes that she will start to become interested. And from there, as she begins to realize that she can get this positive attention from doing this puzzle, she'll start to do the puzzle, but not for her own satisfaction. She'll actually be doing it for yours, right? And this is a very slippery slope. Essentially, you're teaching your child that it's more important to do things to make others happy rather than what makes themselves happy. And this can work the same for negative attention, right? So let's say, for example, if they like playing the musical instrument, but you're constantly telling them, it's too loud, stop. No, not right now, right? They'll start to move away from their own desire for music because of the reaction that you're giving them. So children will form or mold into the way that best suits everyone around them because they're in that absorbent mind. And these type of things will form and mold your child. And as I've said just earlier, these absorbent years of your child's life, they're really just downloading everything around them, whether it's positive or negative, whether it's praise or not. They're watching you, right? And let's say you're just sitting and observing your child. They're taking that in too. They're noticing that you're giving them space to make the decisions for themselves. So, meaning that really now they are more interested in pleasing others to suit the situation rather than their own needs. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know in the comments. I don't want to lose you, but this is really 100% not supporting the unique child, right? It's not Montessori to be doing this, but a lot of us are doing it subconsciously. We don't even know until we actually get introduced to this idea that this is happening, then we can stop and think, okay, wait, is this what I wanted to do? So I know we went a little bit deep here today, but I really wanted to show you guys that even though you might not think that you're forming or molding your child into these visions that you have for them, these far off visions, but you may be doing it subconsciously. So now it's your job to notice these when these thoughts come across your mind. And ask yourself, is this something my child wants, or is it something that I want? Do I want her to do this puzzle, or does she want to do this puzzle, right? And I actually, this is an actual story from my own, my own experience. The puzzle thing, my daughter hated puzzles, but I was so insistent on it. And this is, when I was fully into Montessori, I would rotate it out because I would see she wouldn't like it, but I would keep bringing it out, and she just never liked it, which I'm thankful that I was able to follow her lead in the way that I took it out of rotation and I bring it back in at a later date. But she still is just not a puzzle person. So do you think that you can try to make a more conscious effort by noticing some of the ways that you might be trying to mold your child and asking yourself who it's really for? I would love to know if you think that this is something you can do or think that it's relevant to you. Maybe you don't think you do, but I have a feeling when this concept got introduced to me, I said, no, I don't do that. I would never do that. I'm Montessori. I don't do that. And then, a few days went by and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing that. But the thought was planted in my mind. And from there, I started noticing. I started being aware. And that's the first step. And that's what I want to give you guys today, awareness, right? That is my gift to you today, is being aware of this. And then it's on to you to change the story, right? So this is exactly what Maria Montessori was talking about when she said, our care of the child should be governed not by the desire to make him learn things, but by the endeavor always to keep burning within him that light which is called intelligence. I love this quote because I love the fact that we are, fanning the flames of the fire within your child, right? This is so, it just speaks to me and the unique child concept of Montessori. So let me know what questions you guys have for me today, and I'm going to answer them for you. Any Montessori mindset questions, I'm also happy to answer. If you're on the replay, I'll also come back and answer those questions too. Don't worry. Let's see. We do have a question. That makes sense, but I have more questions about the praise versus acknowledgement concept. Yes, please ask away your questions. I know this is something that people that are new to Montessori really get stuck on, not being able to praise or just noticing that they're praising. There's a couple ways that you can kind of start to realize that you're praising as well. I mean, honestly, sometimes I still say good job because it's so ingrained in me to say it, but it still comes out when I don't want to say it. So, like I said, Montessori isn't the easy way out, but by changing little by little, we are doing the good that we can. Okay, I'm going to see here. If you're going to ask your question, I can't see who this is. Let's see if I can look on here. Okay, Whitney. All right, let me know, Whitney, if you have any more questions. And like I said, I will come back and check out the replay if you guys have questions later. Okay, I do this, but more of the negative way. A lot of the time she wants to do art or messy things when it's super inconvenient or when I really don't feel like making a huge mess. And honestly, some of this has to be in perspective, right? Because, follow the child. And in Montessori, we give them a freedom within limits. So you can't just give your child access to paint all day, every day, because, well, normally there's safety reasons if children are still mouthing and things like that. So you can have a designated time for it, or perhaps you have a less messy art activity if that's what they're interested in. For us, that's colored pencils, right? They're pretty good at not, staying on furniture or walls for that matter. So I can give endless access to that without too much worry that if it does get messy, it wouldn't be too overwhelming for me to clean up. So I would try to think of something like that. And then maybe you have a set, if you're a stay-at-home mom or even if you're a working parent, you just have a set time for these messy activities so that your child can look forward to them. Maybe you do it once a day or once, maybe 3 times a week or something like that, but it would be in a schedule that flows. So let's say after lunch, we do a messy activity and then we take nap or whatever it is. But it would be always after that particular thing, so your child would start to recognize the pattern of their schedule, and so they probably wouldn't want to do it at a different time because they know they're going to be doing it at a certain time. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know. Okay, let's see. I need your help getting started. A PlayStation, fanning the flame of his intelligence. Any other Montessori techniques? Yeah, so getting started, I would definitely suggest if you don't have a prepared environment, if that's what you're saying by PlayStation, I would definitely suggest signing up for the challenge, which you can do in the announcement section, the welcome post. This is a really, really great way to get set up your PlayStation area, if that's what you're saying. I think the next one is let's see. It's the end of June. Oh, I'm sorry, end of July is the next one. So it's not too far away. So definitely say get set up for that, for your prepared environment and fanning the flame of his intelligence. Any other Montessori techniques? Yes, there's so many wonderful things. Today we're talking about mindsets. So some of the mindsets that you might want to start thinking about are respect for the child. This is a really, really big it's an eye opener, right? If we start to look at our children not as children, but as equals and start to respect them. So this means, I don't know how old your children are, but no baby talk. You know, a lot, this can start at birth. You don't have to speak in a baby tone to your voice. Your child is listening to everything you're saying. As I said earlier today, they're absorbent mind right now, right? So everything, including when they're a baby, they're downloading it and taking it in, and they're going to use this for language skills. You know, in just a few years' time, they're going to be speaking sentences. So you want to be speaking clearly so that they can take all that in, as well as showing them respect by not doing baby talk. Hopefully that helps. The designated time thing is a good idea because she seems to want to do it all the time. Yes, that will really help. You know, if they're in their sensitive period for order, it will really help them to understand what's coming next in their day. You can even get some of those routine cards. Maybe one of them a messy painting picture or something, and you can set up the routine cards every day, and then you can say, look, after lunch we're going to do a messy activity today, or whatever you might be doing. Hi, Lucinda. Makes sense. Lately, my kids only play with new activity or work that I pull out for them. So puzzle, shape, sort. I can never say that. It's like a tongue twister. I'm noticing their sensitive periods, but the only thing my kids want to play with are cars. Would you follow child's lead and just have cars out? Well, I wouldn't just have cars out, but I would definitely have the cars out. When we talk about in our challenge, we talk about being able to leave out their favorite things. And if they have a favorite thing, you'd never want to actually take that off the shelf, because the idea is, you know, you're working on this concentration skills. And so you want to keep what they're concentrating out. But I think you could maybe you could use, I don't know, it's a little bit tricky on that one. You can use them for different things. You know, there's lots of different, you know, arts and crafts and things you can use them for, or transferring and pouring activities, if you wanted to like switch things up a bit. And in the you're in the Montessori Learning Center, so we're going to have the transportation theme soon, so you'll probably like that one. Okay, a single mom, by the way, which is another reason why Montessori is super tough. Yes, I can't imagine single moms they've got superpowers to get through things, I think. Okay, makes sense. What did you say about designated times, Holly? Designated times, just how you have a routine. And if you have this, when you're saying about messy activities, and you have them placed in a certain order, right? So after lunch, we have a messy activity. And if you do that every day, or at least some sort of like 3 days a week or 4 days a week, then they'll start to understand that's the pattern of their day. And they'll start to, you know that that's when we do messy activities. We don't do them in the morning, we do them after lunch, or whatever your schedule might be. Okay, yes, I was thinking about the schedule. I can actually show her, but I wasn't sure if I should use pictures or actual materials or just use general clip art images. I know there's a lot of good cards out there. There's a lot of good ones you can buy. I know Vanessa from Mama's Happy Hive has some routine cards, and I'm sure there's like loads of other people that have them as well. But yeah, you could just use clip art. I would try to use, like the ultimate Montessori way would be to like take a picture of your child doing that activity and then making it into a card, because then that's real life. It's not like a character. And then, but that's like full on DIY. I'm not a DIY person, so I understand if that's not something you want to do. Lucinda says, good. Yes, makes perfect sense. Yay, good. Okay, awesome. I'm so glad you guys are here today. And if you're watching on the replay, like I said, I will come back and answer any questions you have. I hope this starts to just like, get in your brain and you think about things just a little bit differently as you move forward on your Montessori journey. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'll see you next week for part 2 of shifting your Montessori mindset. Bye-bye.